I'm sorry, we have no vacancies tonight. We're fully booked.
There are some other hotels up the street. Do you know anything about them? Can you recommend another hotel?
Well, there's the Great Northern Hotel. The rooms over at the Great Northern Hotel aren't all that expensive, but recently they had a noise problem over there. Nobody wants to have a loud arguing couple in the room next door. That can make for a very unpleasant stay, but you can always change your room if they have rooms available. But anyhow, the noise from this arguing couple has now stopped since the man walked out. And he didn't pay the bill, he just walked out. And he left his girlfriend or wife or whatever without any money. She had no money to pay for the hotel bill, nor to get a train back to Mora, Minnesota. So she was forced to work then as a hotel chambermaid until she had enough money to move on. There's the Lexington Hotel. The Lexington hotel staff might be a bit hesitant when it comes to payment by check or bank draft. The Lexington Hotel learned a hard lesson last week when a check thief bilked them out of $15. This forger was particularly daring because he was passing a check that was supposedly signed by a former St. Paul chief of police. This young man defrauded several hotels in St. Paul, and he was finally caught by the Minneapolis police. And this was not his first episode with forgery. He had been caught before, but his family paid off all the losses incurred by merchants, and this kept him from receiving any kind of punishment. There's really no cause for worry if you should encounter a mountain lion in the Lexington Hotel. The cat belongs to a railroad engineer who frequently stays at the Lexington Hotel, and the cat is reasonably tame. It follows his voice commands, and there's never been an incident of any guest being mauled by this mountain lion when they stay there. So if you see a cat in the hall, it's fine. If you get a room at the Lexington Hotel, you'll probably find that the proprietor of the hotel has been missing. Unfortunately, the hotel owner was involved in a slashing incident in the hotel bar. He was trying to stop a crooked dice game from being played in the bar, and a very violent man attacked him. The bar patron suddenly pulled out a knife and sliced open his stomach, leaving his intestines falling out. And then that same criminal did the same thing to another hotel guest who was trying to help the hotel owner. The commotion in the bar grew so loud during the fight that a nearby patrolman heard the noise from the street, and the rough criminal was only brought under control by the cop when he was assisted by a nearby hack driver who just happened to offer his help. So you won't see the hotel owner there for quite some time while he's recovering. There's the Astoria Hotel. Crime can happen at any type of hotel, and it seems to me that the Astoria typically gets white-collar criminals, so they might not be too much of a potential threat to you. In fact, just recently, the Pinkerton Detective Agency was surveilling the Astoria Hotel because they were tracking an embezzler at the Astoria Hotel. Once the criminal was confronted by the detectives, he showed no resistance, and he said he was willing to go with them. However, he said that he first needed to pick up a cold remedy at the corner drugstore. He never returned from his errand and left the detectives standing there in the lurch. There's the Clarendon Hotel. No hotel is immune from theft, and this is particularly the case recently at the Clarendon Hotel. It's always a good idea to have identifying tags in your clothes because they're not only a means for identifying hotel guests who may die in their rooms, they can also help to identify stolen clothing as well. And this was the case recently at the Clarendon Hotel. The police discovered that a young man was selling a wide variety of hotel furnishings as well as stolen clothing in a 7th Street saloon. When they searched his room, the police found the laundry tags on the stolen garments helped them to identify the proper owners of the stolen clothing, and they were traced back to people who were staying at the Clarendon Hotel. In fact, the thief was even wearing one of the hotel guests' underwear at the time of his arrest. So it's very useful to have tags in your laundry so that you can get your clothing back if it gets stolen. Room 35 at the Clarendon Hotel might be freed up right now. Some hotel guests were woken up in the middle of the night by the earlier guest that was staying in that room. They heard a gunshot in the middle of the night and they all rushed into room 35 to find that a fellow guest had blown a hole into his chest with a gun, and there were so many gawkers in the room that it was actually a bit difficult for the police to clear them all out. Although the doctors, when they came, could not find the bullet itself, they felt confident that the man would regain his health after spending some time in the hospital. This could be your chance to get a room for your stay. Anyway, it's worth a try. There's the Grand Central Hotel. I've always been one to say that no good deed goes unpunished, and that was certainly the case for a well-meaning guest staying at the Grand Central Hotel. He saw an inebriated man staggering on the street and tried to assist him by giving him shelter in his room so he could sober up. But as the guest was lighting the gas lighting in the hotel room, the drunken man darted right by him and jumped out the hotel window. The guest quickly grabbed the man's ankles, but he could only hold his weight for so long. He eventually had to let go, and the drunk man landed face first on the stone pavement below. He died 20 minutes later on the sidewalk, lying in a pile of shattered window glass and a pool of blood. There's the Capitol Hotel. I know for a fact that there is a room open at the Capitol Hotel. Last night, a jeweler from Winnipeg tried to kill himself by drinking a tumbler full of nitric acid. Evidently, the guest had the only key, so when a neighboring guest told the hotel staff about the horrible screaming, the staff had no choice but to try to scale the hotel and get to the man through the exterior window of the room. The man saw that someone was coming on the ledge to help him, and then the guest got up and staggered and then fell over as he continued to scream. Once the hotel workers got into the room, the guest indicated that he wanted them to slice his throat. Attending doctors who eventually were let into the room saw no hope for the man. They explained that death through nitric acid is not always fast, and indeed the guest died an agonizing death 4 hours later. I'm sorry we weren't able to offer you a room tonight, but at least I hope that you find a safe place to stay and don't have to sleep in the gutter or some dangerous hotel. To stay updated about dangerous places in the city, you may want to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay fully informed. Until next, safe dreams and safe travels.